the prayer Pater Noster. What do you say in English? Our Lord's Prayer, yes. Our Lord's Prayer. And there he addresses God with Father, Abba, he says, like a boy, a child. And what he teaches us is to see the world like children, like the children we are. Because he went into God and he became God's Son when he was baptized. Jesus is not sent to the world that we shall be worshipping him. In the church, we prostrate before the crucifix, but Jesus is not really there. He is not in the crucifix. He does not say, worship me. He says, remember me. And in the other sacrament we have in the church, the Holy Communion, we eat his body and we drink his blood. And if this is horrible to you, then you must remember that this ritual goes back in ancient history and is so much older than Christianity. And in this ritual, he gives himself to us because he had no other things to give. He was poor. But the Last Supper, he gives himself to the community in order that they shall remember him. And then he says, when he arises to the heavens, don't look after me. Look at the ground, at the people where you are, because I will surely be where 1 or 3 of you are gathered, and you may even meet me in the man who needs you, who meets you in a hidden way on the street, in the stranger. Because Jesus is not imprisoned to his church, and there is even a Christianity which is without a church. When Jesus asks his disciple who they think he is, and they don't know what to say, and he is expecting an answer, then Peter, he says, you surely is the living Christ, Messiah. And we have 2 reports. The scriptures very often contradict each other or say the things in a different way. And in one of the textures in St. Matthew, Jesus praises Peter because he said this to him, that he was Messiah. In the other version, from St. Mark and St. Luke, he says that they have to keep secret about it. They must not tell in the world, because this truth is hidden. I think Jesus was not sure about his relation to God. He was wavering all the time long, and we hear him in different situations, and when he really is trodden to the ground, he cries that God has forsaken him. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. On the cross, he was forsaken by God. He feared it. Jesus was in pains and in horrors and in temptations, and he was thirsty, and he was sleeping, and he was desperate, and he became angry, and he suffered all the passions which a man in this world is suffering, because he was a true man. And he himself did not know if he was Son of God or he was not, only when he arrived at Caesarea Philippi and he asked his disciples, "Who do people say whom I am?" And then they said, "Well, some say Elias, some say the resurrected John the Baptist, some say this, some say other things." Then he asked them, "But whom do you believe the Son of Man is?" And then only Peter took courage and came with the confession, which is the Christian church. And on this word of Peter, Christ wanted to build his church. And we have this visible church and churches, many of them, in all Europe, all over the world. But this visible church is not alone the Christian church. The church is invisible and is built where man meets another man and brotherhood evokes in their hearts. And he said, "You shall love your fellow man." And not even that, you shall even love your enemy. And this is the hardest task. This is difficult for everybody of us. But if we were able to, the world would change at once. How long time do I have? Yeah. The secrets of Jesus. The church is full of secrets. In Islam, there are not so many secrets. Everything is plain. The Prophet Muhammad, he made a new religion. I read that he said at the end, I think Surah 5, that in this way I have made you a religion, Islam, to follow.